Hi class, Laura here. Just wanted to talk to you about our toy adaptation project. For this project, I created an adapted sled. So this is the adapted sled that I created. I used a knee board and a seat that I found from Goodwill. The total cost of that was about $9, but it could be more expensive if you actually had to buy these things. A lot of times families have car seats or foam sleds at home, so those could be used. We found these at Goodwill and spray painted the seat black. It obviously has a strap, and then we attached it using plywood and screws. We attached the inside of the seat and the bottom of the board to the plywood and added on a rope to make it into a sled. The total cost for this was about $25. And it could cost more depending on if you had to get the supplies new. The boards can cost up to $100, and so can car seats. But the plywood, the screws, and the spray paint cost about $15. It took about 4 hours, including like all the little details that we put into this. So now that I've discussed the description with you, I wanted to talk about the purpose a little bit. I specifically wanted to focus on the performance areas of social participation and play for children who have hypotonia or a lack of endurance, muscle weakness, or even spastic muscle symptoms. I also found that I wanted to decrease the price of adapted equipment. You can't find adapted sleds within stores or even sleds that might come close to allowing for postural stability while sledding. And sleds that I found that are adapted through adaptive equipment stores like this one. This one particularly costs around $600, and that really isn't viable for a family. So that is why I chose to make this sled. So after giving you the purpose of this piece of adaptive equipment, I wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about the populations that I've chosen to focus on. I specifically focused on hypotonia, or decreased muscle tone, in individuals with Down syndrome and hypotonic CP. This seat obviously helps with postural stability, an increase in safety as there's a safety belt, and the legs can be kept together using the knee board strap. Headpiece could also be added to increase postural stability. Individuals with CP and Downs often lack postural stability, or it's decreased. There is a lack of usually balance and of coordination, of muscle strength. Individuals with CP usually are more likely to lack endurance, whereas individuals with Downs, as they increase, have longer endurance. Those with Down syndrome actually have decreased postural reactions, just like their decrease in developmental milestones as compared to a normal infant. So using this sled could help increase safety for children with Downs, where they might have to react fast, whereas this might provide some safety mechanisms for them. Obviously, I wanted to focus on the fact that postural stability, as referenced by the neuromuscular frame, talks about that we need postural stability first in order to engage in fine motor activity. So I really wanted to focus on the importance of postural stability as a child, engaging in play, engaging in social participation, so that later on in life those performance areas might be touched on, and that you might be able to grow from that proximal to distal radius of movement, fine motor skills. So that is why I chose to work with this population. I also wanted to touch on some variations and other information that I thought of while creating this piece of equipment. So the piece of equipment can be graded. Obviously, different heights to the chair might be needed depending on the level of instability that the child shows. high chair or a car seat, seat without arms could be used. Also, the level of seatbelt that is included would definitely depend on the child's ability to control their trunk and their head. So a full body seatbelt could be put in. More loose seatbelt, like one that is displayed, could be left in. I also wanted to touch on the fact that different materials could be used. I used a knee board to create the sled, but obviously you could use a foam sled that you could drill through the bottom. And like I said, obviously different types of seats could be used. These items can be found around the house depending on whether or not other children are in the family, or they can be gained through a Goodwill or through other friends and family. So the cost of this really should be relatively low. As of safety precautions, I would really focus on maintaining a stable base and having a wide base. I would also recommend that the seat be very sturdy, in that this is plastic, but I would want to even increase that more and give more stability to that. And finally, this should really be used with parental supervision and should only be used for children within a normal weight range, I would say, depending on the age and severity of the issue, that children maybe 3, 4, and under should use this sled. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed my piece of adapted equipment.